The online electrical goods retailer AO World said this morning that recent trading had been better than it previously feared. The company said that since its last update to the market at the end of February, it had continued to see positive traction. It added the potential adverse effects from trading risks, continued macroeconomic uncertainty and tough consumer environment that we anticipated at the end of February have not materialised to the extent envisaged. The shares are currently ahead by some 10%. And the recruitment company Hays said this morning that it enjoyed record fees during the first 3 months of the year thanks to strong demand for workers on temporary contracts, its biggest market amid ongoing labour shortages around the world. Fees grew by 5% on a like-for-like basis during the quarter, but fees for placing temporary staff and contractors were ahead by 11%. Hays, which specialises in placing white-collar workers and in the technology sector, highlighted a record performance in Germany in particular. Now, there are up to 60 million credit cards in circulation in the UK, with 2/3 of UK adults having at least one credit card and 1 in 3 of us having more than one. Yet there are suggestions that with consumer indebtedness increasing and banks and credit card providers making more than £15 billion in credit card interest each year, the market is not working as well as it might for everyone. Well, joining me now is Gavin Shuker. He's a former Labour MP and he's now Chief Executive of Cardio, which is a credit card management startup. Gavin, good to see you this morning. So why do you say the credit card market is broken?
Well, our research shows that you've got about 14 million credit card customers in the UK paying interest on their balances every month. Typically, they're spending £1,000 a year just in interest charges alone. That's a huge debt anchor on household finances. And we at Cardio believe that we could use some of the regulatory measures, such as open banking, to release their data and actually reduce their costs. That's the most important thing that government can be doing to help.
You better explain by reminding the uninitiated what you mean by open banking. And this came in 2018.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, when I was a Member of Parliament, this was coming through at that point. Open banking is a very simple principle. It says that you as the customer own your own data. And if you want to make that data available to a third-party provider such as Cardio, you can do it with their permission. In other words, it allows us to do clever things with data from credit card statements and so on that end up reducing the amount of money that a customer ends up paying. It's a regulatory regime that's pro-market, pro-consumer. Actually, it's a shame that we haven't made further strides since 2018 on it.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems to be working pretty well in the banking sector. You say it doesn't with credit cards. Why is that?
Yeah, so the underlying principle here is that if the data is made available to a customer in an electronic form, it should be made available to a third-party provider. Now, some bits of the industry are working really well. So like your current accounts, we've all seen the apps where you can put your accounts together and see what you spent, for example. With credit cards, actually, enforcement isn't as good. And so a lot of the key data fields that we need to really save customers money aren't there because the credit card issuers aren't compliant with the law.
And they're not compliant with the law. So this isn't an issue of the regulation not working. They're not adhering to the law.
Yeah, absolutely. So the principle under open banking is very, very clear in this respect. But we're using a bit of the open banking specification that perhaps other businesses haven't used before. It's not surprising that some of the data there is patchy, but what it needs is clear political leadership to say there's a clear principle here in favour of the consumer. Let customers have their data and let us do clever things with it that save them money.
I know you've spoken to the City Minister, Andrew Griffith, about this. What's the Financial Conduct Authority got to say about this?
Yeah, we've engaged with the FCA, and obviously we're an FCA-regulated business in our own right as well. They do take enforcement action where issues are raised with them, but that enforcement action is confidential. It's one of the reasons why we actually think there should be a one-stop shop where enforcement can be done by a regulator. It's a bit of a patchwork at the moment, but actually with clear political leadership, we could really make open banking work and save money for consumers.
Who are you saying is at fault here? Is it the likes of MasterCard and Visa, or is it the issuing banks themselves?
It's the credit card issuers themselves, the high street banks and the other players in the industry that actually need to go further in terms of open banking, invest in that area and make that data available.
Is this cock-up or conspiracy?
I think it's a mix of both. As I said before, we're doing something incredibly innovative at Cardio. We're using open banking in a way that no one else has used before. But that was the idea of bringing the regime in the first place. It's not surprising we're hitting these kind of issues. But as I say, these are the kind of issues that really impact a consumer. We could save a customer hundreds of pounds each year just simply through managing their credit card repayments on their behalf. We can't do that to the extent we want to today, and that's why we're calling for action.
So your app is free to use. How does the business make money?
Yeah, sure. So free to use, we never charge a customer money to handle, say, a single monthly payment that gets to the right card, right time, right amount. In terms of revenue, what we hope to be able to offer is refinancing for a smaller subset of users. Fundamentally, and you'd probably expect this given my background, it's a socially responsible model. What we are trying to do is actually save customers money. That's the only way in which we can make money. That's actually quite a virtuous circle for us, and that's why we're seeing such popularity.
Well, it's quite interesting. I mean, I see a lot of business people go into politics. I don't see many politicians going the other way.
Yeah, I've been reflecting on that quite a lot in recent years, as you can imagine. And in terms of running a startup business, one of the things you need is investment. I would say for a lot of VC firms or investors, there's a lack of pattern recognition. Why would a politician make a good chief executive? Actually, in my experience, I think it's quite a good breeding ground for many of the skills that you do need in terms of managing stakeholders, investors, and others.
Having the hide of a rhino, yeah.
Yeah, a thick skin does go a long way, I understand, in business as well as in politics.
Absolutely. I mean, you left the Labour Party because of Jeremy Corbyn's leadership. What do you think of Keir Starmer? How do you think he's doing?
Well, look, there's no doubt at all that the Labour Party is in a fundamentally different place to where it was in 2019, where I and others chose on a matter of integrity to leave the Labour Party. At the same time, you know, that work is, in my view, unfinished. My good friend Luciana Berger has chosen to go back to the Labour Party. I've not made that choice. That may be a reflection of actually me putting all of my initiative at the moment into building this great socially responsible business. But I'm enjoying engaging as a voter rather than as a participant for now.
All right, Gavin, good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining me. Still to come here on Ian King Live, we're going to have a look at how the markets are doing this Friday morning. The FTSE's in line for its fourth successive weekly gain. Join me for more after this short break.
It's the story of two adult siblings who lived together in their childhood home, bound together by the tragic death of their parents, about which we know very little at the beginning of the story. But it's really a story about love in its many forms: parental love, sibling love, romantic love, and with, as you said, a riff on maths. It's got sort of maths at its beating heart. So it's an unconventional love triangle. Why maths? I'd written about these two characters, Mimi and Art, and I felt I knew who they were, but I didn't know what they did. And one day I was driving along listening to In Our Time, and they were talking about this very difficult, intractable maths problem called P versus NP. And I just knew that's what the Art character did. So it was a maths thing that fitted the character rather than my intention to write a book about maths.
Okay, so it's not because you were a maths professor in a
No,
previous
I am
life.
not a mathematician, and you do not have to be a mathematician to read the book at all. But once I'd discovered that, I was quite intrigued by the maths problem. I mean, maths is changing our world, right?
Of course. Puts a man on the moon.
And I quite liked the idea of this maths problem that talked about very difficult things that we encounter in our everyday lives that there aren't answers to, aren't maths answers to. Lots of things where we have to collect the data, but at the end of the day, you have to jump and make a decision. And I thought love is a bit like that. So I quite like the idea of the perfection of maths up against the chaos and mess of real life. My top tip would be, it doesn't matter if you write rubbish, because you can always throw it away and you can always edit it. And it takes time to learn to do that. It's a painful thing to do, but you can do it. So just write rather than stare or walk away.
Well, last night's gains on Wall Street were followed by a positive overnight session for equities in the Asia-Pacific region. All of the main indices in the region finished higher. The Nikkei in Tokyo was the star performer, finishing up 1.25% nearly. It's finished higher now for 6 straight sessions, which is the Nikkei's best winning streak since July last year. And that was partly down to Fast Retailing, which is the owner of Uniqlo. It finished up more than 8% on strong quarterly earnings. Well, in Europe right now, all of the main indices are similarly in positive territory right now, as you can see there, albeit by not very much, but they're heading in the right direction. Talking points this morning in continental Europe include the luxury goods group Hermes. The shares are ahead by 1% in Paris following a trading update. We heard from LVMH, of course, on Wednesday night. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory right now, currently a quarter of 1% higher just now. Currently on course, as I said before the break, for its fourth consecutive weekly gain. The leading blue chip gainer right now in percentage terms is the warehouse owner Segro. There's been some positive broker comment lately around both the sector and that particular company, while the paper and packaging group Smurfit Kappa, its shares are also ahead by some 1.5% now, roughly, on broker comment. Outside the FTSE 100, quite a lot going on this morning. The 888 Holdings, which is the owner of William Hill, its shares, as you can see on the screen, they're currently ahead by some 18%. They've got a trading update out today. While Decra Pharmaceuticals, the shares there ahead by nearly 35%, and that is following an after-hours takeover approach last night from the private equity firm EQT. That would value the company, used to be in the FTSE, at £4.6 billion. Another mid-cap to mention is AO World. The shares there currently ahead by 11% on the trading update. It's lifted ASOS up by a third of 1% in sympathy, and Boohoo as well. I'm not sure why there's a read across from electrical goods to fashion retailing online, but that's the way the world turns, I guess. On the foreign exchange markets, well, the euro has hit its highest level against the US dollar for a year. That is on expectations that the European Central Bank will carry on raising interest rates, even as the US Federal Reserve calls a halt to its rate tightening. The euro ahead by 1/7 of 1% right now against the US dollar. Sterling more or less unchanged against the greenback, but the euro does have a bit of lead in its pencil this morning. The pound is off by 1/5 of 1% against the single currency right now. As for the oil price, well, that is on course for its third weekly gain in 4. A barrel of Brent crude, though, more or less unchanged right now at $86.07 a barrel. And another commodity to show you this morning. We don't talk about it all that often, but I thought it was worth mentioning today. The price of gold, well, it's continuing to trade close to its record high, which was hit in the summer of 2020. Gold hit $2,055.30 per troy ounce yesterday. That was taking it up 13% so far on the year. The price right now, it's off $2,000 to $35.61 an ounce. That's off 1/5 of 1% right now. Well, joining me this morning is the lead equity analyst at Hargreaves Lansdown, Sophie Lund-Yates. Sophie, good to see you this morning. And you're joining us from Cheltenham, which is also very appropriate because we start today with Superdry. I mean, a real humdinger of a statement, this.
Yes, that's probably not a good way to put it, but certainly the way I would phrase it. I mean, looking at the Superdry shares this morning, they're down about 19%. So this just tells you that...
Like for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired. Yes! How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness. So what did that? Myself and the world in adjustment. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. The best radio show.
Sit back, relax.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harrison, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. But here, this is Star Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we call them London. And I said, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Coolest way to start your weekend. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Star Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Star Radio UK. Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Star Radio. Star Radio. Radio for the people.
Love for you runs deep. My heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hand.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you, and once again say welcome to the Friday edition of the Morning Show. And as we say it here on this platform,
The coolest way to start your weekend.
Today is the 14th day of April, the year 2023. The time now 10:33 from the hearts of London. And I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
But I'm not here by myself. I'll be joined by Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, and Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GL Accountancy Services. That'll be the team for this morning. I'm going to make sure that we deliver on all our promises, unlike politicians do. So from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, why not? We'll do our best to touch on it. But you know, we also allow you to add your voice to the discussions as the program goes on. So yes, we'll activate. So you can also add your comments or post your comments on our Facebook page, on all our social media platforms that we are broadcasting on.
All of you
but you can listen to us on every other social media platform and on our own apps as well. You go to your app store, just type in Star Radio Global. It will pop up and then download it for free. It's transmitting live on TuneIn app as well. So don't miss out. Do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Star Radio UK. So let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi, Mr. Frank Davis, and Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GL Accountancy Services, and our able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Good morning, gentlemen. And to our presenters on Starr Radio UK, we salute you. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you. Bishop Adeshina, good morning. Pastor Momo, good morning. Samoyiwa, good morning. And Sir Maxwell, good morning to you as well. Aziz Bedesari, good morning. And you all listening to us in UAE, and those of you in the Americas, I mean, you wake up very, very early in the morning to listen to us. My goodness, thank you very much for doing so. Okay, so this is what's going to happen today. I'm going to bring you the quote of the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as Global Trotting. Then after that, we will go to Nigeria, where it's all unraveling. I will be telling you more about what is happening in Nigeria at 11 o'clock with updates from Nigeria. And today we're having Mr. Olayomi on the program as well.
And that's what makes you great.
It will then continue from dance, and we'll have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be opened for you to add your voice to the discussions. At 12:30, to bring the first part of the program to a close, and then we'll take you to Kent, where our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, will be to also bring you the money hour.
And forevermore.
So it's a packed program,
And that's what makes
but we'll make sure that you don't miss out on anything. But once again, let me say welcome on board. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. But I remember yours sincerely.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Let me say all protocol observed. Felix in Abedin, good morning. Kojo D, good morning as well. Kojo, was nice talking to you yesterday. All right then, so let's crack on. The quote for the day says, the 21st century is a wonderful era, and you can't excuse yourself from such great opportunity. So what are the opportunities? You need to look out for them and take advantage of them. Right? Right. Okay, now so let's move on to the weather front. It's been a mixture of sunshine, rain, and all that stuff there. But you want to know more about what is happening when it comes to the weather front, then just stay tuned and listen to that. You can share with us what is happening in your area right now. Maybe somebody is there who has not got the means to actually know what is happening there, and it will be good. What about that? Okay, so for the weather forecast, this afternoon will continue cloudy, and there will be patchy cloud, light rain at times throughout. It's going to be moderate winds as well, but this evening will be overcast with a few spots of rain. Tonight we'll see a band of heavy rain sweep in from the west during the early hours. The rain will clear to the east, but it will stay cloudy. Total temperature is going to be 11 degrees, the lowest is going to be 6 degrees. Pollen level is going to be moderate, UV level low, pollution low as well. And when it comes to sunset, it's going to be 1955, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 0688. When it comes to the weather front for Saturday, yes, it's going to be cloudy. Temperature 15 degrees, the lowest 5 degrees. Now Sunday we have a mixture of sunshine and cloud, and top of the temperature 16 degrees and the lowest 5 degrees. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
I worship you.
Let's take a quick break and I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'm keeping updated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio Travel update that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. It's not 10:40 exactly. So what is happening with travel this morning? Let me tell you more about that. So on the underground this morning, I can tell you shortly, Bakerloo line is partly suspended. Hammersmith and City line has got severe delays there as well. The Metropolitan line has got severe delays as well. That aside, all the others have got good service. Now, when it comes to the London Tram Link, part closures, as we did say, until Saturday, tomorrow, until Sunday, my apologies, April 16, no service between East Croydon and Reeves Corner. But the London Overground, good service, and DLR, good service there. Keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads, and we'll keep you navigated. Moving on straight to the major roads in London. A12, A24, A4, Central London Red routes have all got closures. Now, A40 and South Circular A205 has got serious delays. So, if you can avoid, do your best to do so. But if you are stuck in there, continue to listen to us, because as and when there are any changes, we promise you one thing for sure. We'll bring it to the fore. On the riverbank this morning, I can tell you shortly, good service throughout, as well as the London Cable Car, good service there as well. Now let's come to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail, and let me tell you what is happening there. Across country has got minor delays. First Hall trains, minor delays. Grand Central, minor delays. Great Northern, minor delays. London North Eastern Railway, minor delays. Lumo, Thames Link have also got minor delays. That aside, Great Western Railway, severe delays, and Transport for Wales has got special service. So please check before you embark on your journey. But however, if you're stuck in there, as we are saying all the time, continue to listen to us, because as and when there are any changes, we'll bring it to the fore. On that note, let me say it once again as I do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the road.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the
Darkness.
whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, 10:44 the time. Let's go global trotting. What's happening from across the globe? Well, this morning I woke up and when I came into the studio, I was being given some information pertaining to Ghana. I was like, really? Oh my word. But well, we'll be telling you more about that in a moment. What is IMF saying about Ghana? Are we moving on in a very, very good place? I remember back in the day during the election that NDC lost, and they said, "Oh, we are in a comfortable position. Anything that you say, we say we are." We said, "No, things are not going well. So no, we are in a comfortable position." Maybe the MPP think they are in a very comfortable position, but the IMF is saying otherwise. We'll be bringing you more about that. Stay tuned, don't you go away. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, some of the stories that I'm going to be looking at this morning, the Central Bank of Nigeria has proposed that banks should transfer funds in accounts that have been dormant for up to 10 years into a trust fund account. Why? If it's my account, I put some money in, I'm traveled, and therefore I don't access it, and it's there. Why do you have to transfer my money into some account? Well, we'll be telling you more about that once we have Mrs. Olayomi on. And fuel subsidy, oil theft, gulped 29 trillion naira, says the federal government. Obi Kwankwaso shared Atiko's votes, Tinubu tells Tribunal. So he said he didn't rig the election, but Obi and Kwankwaso, they were the ones who split Atiko's vote. Maybe Atiko would have won. Okay. And number of Kaduna children dying because of malnutrition is reducing. That's what officials are saying. At times they have all these statistics and you ask them, from where did you get it from? But we'll be telling you more about that. 9 years after Boko Haram abducted 277 students from a girls' school in Chibok, 98 girls are still being held by Boko Haram. And a slew of abduction have taken place since. Well, as I did say earlier on, a U.S. Secret Service arrests 28-year-old Nigeria indicted in $6 million internet fraud. Yahoo. Oh my goodness. Well, so lots more going to be coming your way from there. We'll be telling you more about that in a moment, but don't you go away. Now, moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds. Well, a U.S. airman is to appear in court over intelligence leak. Well. Now, let me ask you a question that I want us to be discussing later on. Now, if you are going into or you are being enrolled into some, should I call them organizations where especially they deal with secrecy and stuff like that, maybe the helm of governance. So, like number 10, you are working with there are things, because when people came out to go and say all sorts about Boris Johnson and everything that brought about Boris Johnson's downfall, and somebody will say, well, if some people have gone in and then have signed an undertaking that they are not going to declare or they are not going to reveal anything that is going on there, that would have been good, right? So maybe this man, this airman, if he was made to sign anything of the sort, he wouldn't have done that, knowing the penalty that he might have faced. But well, Dr. Xeria is facing charges in Boston after classified files on the war in Ukraine appeared online. What made him do that? Is it that he's angry or he's upset about the role that the West are playing in the war in Ukraine and everything that's going on? We'll be telling you more about that in a moment. I was hung out to dry, says RAF sex assault victim. In her first media interview, the female ex-corporal says she quit after being assaulted in her sleep. My goodness, what are they discipline? Wow. And then Ford has launched hands-free driving on UK motorways. Are you comfortable? Now I think when I'm driving, I need to use my hands and my legs to hold my steering, because you might not know somebody driving a hands-free vehicle and then maybe you might stray your way. But it's only driven, the hands-free, you can only apply it when you're on the motorway. That's what they're saying. But we'll tell you more about that in a moment. Joe Biden is to conclude Irish visit to County Mayor today. It's one of the stories making the rounds there as well. And 1 in 4 unaware they need ID to vote in May. Well, in the UK now, you need an ID to vote. It says for the first time, people will need to show photo ID before voting in England's local election. What about that change? So we didn't. I mean, we just go. You just have your. I don't even take my card. I just go in straight. Just mention my name and then poops your date of birth, and then you just vote. So, well, what has changed? We'll tell you more about that in a moment. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, secretaries are warning gamblers ahead of Grand National. The weekend will be challenging, of course. Some animal rights protesters have decided that they're going to embark on some demonstration there. Now, so they don't want us to ride horses again. They don't want us to eat meat again. They want us all to be vegetarians. So what do we do? Well, lots more going to be coming. The vegetables that they are eating, the plants, don't they have feelings? I bet you some are crying whilst you are biting them, or you put them in the fire, roasting them, or cooking them, or boiling them, whichever is appropriate. What do you think about all that? We'll talk about that. All right then. Now moving on to other parts of the world as well. Islamic State terrorists extend control over northeastern Mali. Whoops! Because we know that the Malian government has driven out the French military that was stationed there. And so I would say that, yeah, you see, because we left, that is why it looks like the terrorists are taking control over that particular place. But we'll tell you more about that. What is the regional force actually doing about all this? The ECOWAS, what are they doing about it? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Sudan's army warns against escalation as paramilitary forces are deployed. Well, I know for sure they're going to be cracking down on them, but what do you think? Now, we expect an IMF program by close of May 2023. Oferiata says. Okay, so we are pushing the goalposts. Now, we'll be telling you more about what has happened, what has the IMF said so far, and what can Ghana do to get to that place. All right, then. So, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, one interesting story. The gospel artist and the musician, Rankinoli, he's saying that he says his ancestors hail from Ghana, and therefore he's now relocating to Ghana. That is a good thing. We are doing our best to get them all relocated. But when people get there, they say, the system. And they don't speak well of us at all. Everything, everywhere you go, you see that you bribe your way through. You want to come up with a venture, you might not get it through because you don't want to bribe. You want to do it like the way we do it here. They're not going to be going very far. They're going to frustrate you. But what are we doing? We're getting people in, but we're not putting fixing the system to work in our interest. What about that? Now, Becca Vamawo arrest treats. Okay, let me take it again. Becca Vamawo's arrest, threats of violence against journalists, and justified detention feature in U.S. State Department 2022 report. But we know that the president came in. He was one of the human rights lawyers that we've known. We found that he was championing the cause. But he came in, and we see in the West performance when it comes to respecting the rights of journalists, of citizens as a whole. But what do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming away from there. It is Starr Radio UK. World Bank will withdraw support if we politicize fight against Galamsey. Wow. So it's going to set up. Are they going to whip their own in line? Or what is going to happen there? So Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. After how many years, JB alleged killers mini trial over court delivers ruling on April 18. This and a lot more we're going to be looking at. But now, let's enjoy some music whilst we get ourselves ready for Mr. Olayomi to join in. And let's go straight to Niger to listen to the late Sammy Okposo. And he says, gratitude. God has been good. I mean, a whole week. Nigeria has not happened to us, and we are still taking on like no man's business. Felix will say, we are prodding on. So, we are prodding. So, let's be grateful to God for what he has done for us. Enjoy this music, and we'll be with you. Stay tuned. Don't you go away.
Good God. Now look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I have some gratitude in my spirit. I have some gratitude in my spirit. Ask your neighbor, do you have some of it? Because I'm about to unleash my gratitude. Now, you know what? Once you feel it, don't allow your neighbor to stop you.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
Come on.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Come on, everybody. Clap your hands like this. Come on. One more. Everybody say, I thank you. I thank you. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I thank you. And I thank you. Oh Lord. In looking at my life, I see that you have done for me. Oh, I thank you. Oh Lord. Come on. Everybody.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Thank you for loving me, oh Lord.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world.
Oh yes, gratitude. And I'm saying good morning to Pastor Momo. He said our gratitude to God regardless. Of course. With whatever we're going through, whatever the challenges might be, whether Nigeria has happened to you or not, or whatever, we still have to be grateful to God. At least you are alive. And I say you are alive, there is hope for you. What about that?
Thank you for loving me.
It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Come on.
2 minutes to the top of the hour. Well, we're going to Nigeria pretty soon, but I've got Mr. Frank Davis in the house. Let me go to him because we have a few issues to talk about whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi to join in on the program as well. And let me say, Frank, good morning to you.
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listeners, wherever they are, our viewers. We salute all of you.
Yes. How are you?
Actually, I'm doing very well.
Great.
Very, very well.
He says he's doing very, very well, but he's got bad news as well, you know. he came from Ghana not long ago, but
bad news seems to be part of life these days, and especially when it comes to Africa. So it gets to a point where it's normalized.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what all you need to be doing is to be thinking of coping strategies.
Oh, okay.
How do you cope and how do you navigate? The bad news is that we're expecting IMF loan in Ghana.
Yeah.
IMF bailout, not a loan, help by the end of March.
Yeah.
We are today is the 14th of March. Last week, in fact, this week was supposed to be a very important event. There was a meeting of the creditors. China had to be lobbied. Macron himself was there, part of. I mean, this is part of the conversation Macron had with the Chinese leader.
So forgive Ghana.
They were, because without them, I mean, of our debt, about 6 billion debt that we owe. China has about 3 billion, almost half.
Oh wow!
about it. So they are by far, they blocked out the country that we should look at. So if they say yes, fine. If they say no, again, it's fine. But again, you have a different decision of the what they call the Chinese will actually determine what the external creditors will have to do. Okay. Because if you're restructuring that, you want to see what you can bring under the report. Unfortunately for us, we hoped that there will be good news, that they will say, okay, now you've satisfied the condition, because they gave us the condition. Yeah. They are not saying that take the money and these are the conditions. When we started the discussion, what they told us was, look at the situation. We want you to implement A, B, C, D. If you can do that,
then we will also.
First, you have to demonstrate that you can increase revenue. You have to demonstrate again that domestically you can restructure the debt side, that the burden now will not be that much, and whatever we give you will be enough to fund other social program, very important program. And 3, reduce government expenditure to the barest minimum, acceptable minimum. Yeah. So far, government has not done anything about this. What they call it is expenditure. We've seen in Parliament last week or two, they passed 3 more revenue bills. We are supposed to bring in $4 billion more. What with 4 billion cedis more? What we do know, projections are that the growth rate was downgraded. From around 3% to 1.6. So now, if you forecast that, all those taxes will also come at the back of growth. The more growth you have, the more tax that you can collect. So if the growth rate comes, I mean that whatever you've projected,
you will not be able
you will not be able to achieve it. So a meeting was held with the creditors, and IMF is now saying that, look, we can't give you the money now. Certain things needs again to be done. So now we have to go back and do more restructuring, and which is now the case where we risk, actually, and this is very, very serious, we might see the eventual collapse of our financial sector completely. Because what is going to happen now, the only area that is left for any debt restructuring to be done is the pension funds and the banks. Okay, the pension fund and banks. And if you want to postpone payment of interest on whatever arrangement you have the bank today, it means that all of us who have money in the banks or who have invested in certain banks will now, because banks, like I keep on saying, they are susu collectors, are glorified susu collectors. That susu collection, this is what has now come to befall us. Before now, you have to be told that you've bought government security at this, you're supposed to be paying this, you have to be paying your staff. In fact, banks' profit comes from investment in some of those things, especially in Ghana, where the government seems to crowd out even businesses when it comes to loan. And banks, because of how risky our environment is, they prefer putting money in government security. If you're going to restructure that, the potential and the problem is that you're going to push their debt portfolio, paying anything on them forward, which means that they will not be able to service their responsibilities. The staff are going to be laid off. Some will eventually collapse. That's number one. Pension funds has to do with taking people's money and investing it in areas. The money is not for them. Every day, a pension or a pensioner has to be paid. They use those returns to be able to pay. What they call it, the pensioners. Again, depending on what they have in their portfolio, they make daily decision on how to allocate and which strategic areas to basically apportion those money. If you go to attack them, push whatever they have forward, it means that investment decision are going to be delayed. It means that investment decision, they return to meet future obligations. Because if we put investment in today, we expect that probably start yielding something in 10 years. Projection, like, we know that the population will grow at this time, pensioners will grow at this time, and therefore we need this portfolio to be able to give them what we're doing now. That for the next 5-10 years, we're putting those people at risk. Actually, it's a serious crisis that we are in as a country. It's a very, very serious crisis. SNIT is gone. Forget about SNIT. SNIT is gone. SNIT
because we don't have they continue to deduct
they continue to pay they continue to deduct, and then they continue to pay, but the funds that they've invested in other areas, forget it, it's gone. It's gone, because they're also a pension fund, so to say.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, looking at the financial sector and looking at everything, assuming you are working with the what they call the finance and maybe the bank, you are in that particular place. Where do you think government can actually say, okay, let's go this way, and then we can make some revenue to boost the confidence that the IMF and
Archie, when this war started in Ukraine, the US has given about 76 million to the Ukrainians in terms of arms and other things. China, 3 billion is not a problem for them. Russia has forgiven some African countries and debts. You need to start showing as a government that you are serious about the problem, that you acknowledge that you messed up. Actually, you have to first, that's why even if we go to the church, the Catholic has this, you have to go and confess your sins. And that confession of sins, although now people look at it as a ritual, is supposed to show remorse. It's supposed to do an introspection. And that's why you are even questioning whether what you are saying, whether it's by compulsion or it's voluntary. Because you're supposed to, that when you confess that you've done this, it's supposed to be a point of a turnaround, where you do not go back. That's why the song says, I have decided to follow Jesus.
No turning back.
So they are all linked together. As a government, if I come before you as a pastor and I say I've committed these sins, but I know I've strengthened myself, and you can see that I'm demonstrating that I can still commit murder, and I come to confess, that pray for me for the murder I committed yesterday. Meanwhile, I've cocked my gun that
I'm going for the next victim.
What you are praying for me, I tell you, Francis, if I get him today, you praying for me as if I get Francis, I'll blow his head up. Actually, what will happen to your prayers? You stop and ask, what is going on? So the government of Ghana must demonstrate beyond reasonable doubt that one, the actions that they took that led us to where we are is wrong. That given the opportunity, they will not repeat those reckless borrowing. Okay. It must also demonstrate that, look, the kind of budget they are running, even at the presidency alone, the government machinery, they must demonstrate that, look, the money that we're getting, we are not in trouble and we cannot live those luxurious lifestyles again. While these discussions are going on, we understand new Land Cruisers have been arriving in Ghana for the government officials to use. Okay? They've been arriving for the government because why? 2 years more, they'll be going out,
and then they can sell it to themselves.
They can buy it and they can sell it to themselves. The government has not demonstrated that, look, they are doing a restructuring within even the presidency. Because you take the staff level, how much they are paying them, it's all wastage. So it must come first from the gun. Look, very soon we're going to be hearing reports that IMF deliberately is delaying this because they are stretching because it's their responsibility. And you know what? Now that IMF has put an advisor at the Bank of Ghana, why they are telling you that you cannot again be printing money like the way you did from the year 2000. Before election, they printed a lot of money. Yes, they printed a lot of money plus COVID money. That's what showed up the country. This part of this inflation we are seeing is coming from there. Now the person over there now, they are just telling, we will not put a police on you. You cannot do that, right? Now the US government is also putting someone at the Ministry of Finance. What they are telling the kind of
we don't
those bond inside trading that you do with what you call your cronies and other things is not going to happen again. So basically, all the wheels, all the leverage that you had, they're also using your quest to get the 3 billion to clip your wings gradually. That's what is going on.
Now, if government of Ghana decide, okay, we're going to restructure, let's lay off some of the staff in the presidency, they are going to pay them gratuity or whatever agreement, and that will cost the nation as well. So what is the better way?
It will not cost the nation more than it will cost, because whichever way you look at it, if they are a part of Article 71, they will be going out, and when they go out, those gratuity will be paying, and the more they serve, the more gratuity will pay.
Okay.
Anyway, so for me, I don't see why people who are not basically doing anything are running fuel on our bills the whole day, are running benefits on the whole day just by communicating for government, talking. Some people have actually hired to just post on Facebook. I mean, yeah, Archie, that's what they do. To just post on Facebook, post fake videos, documents, just for propaganda machinery. Actually, we are in a crisis, and in terms of crisis, you take tough decisions. Are you getting me? Don't not be. I mean, the decisions they are taking them from the party, and these guys have representatives in the country. Sometimes we underestimate the offices. What are they coming to do in Ghana? Why do you think they'll be paying rent? Why do you think they'll be paying a resident? They say, they are not fools. What are they going to do? When they need, if you need them, you travel. If you want, what do they need?
They don't trust you. Cry.
And don't you think they have meetings with others, civil society? They also understand they have their own machinery of monitoring. Actually, we're in crisis. Ghana is in serious crisis.
How worse do you reckon it's going to get before? And looking at the various sectors, let's take teachers. Okay. Let's take people who are working in the various ministries. How worse do you think it's going to get?
Actually, it's going to get to a point where it's already getting worse anyway, because we know certain staffs, certain people are not being paid. Certain government workers are not being paid on time, and it's going to be more. We're going to see that more. I wanted to see if I'll see an article that these people have written. I think I spotted something today. Actually, is the Times. The Times came out with something today. If I see it already, but Ghana default puts domestic debt a kind of worm in spotlight. So let me just pick up something in there for you, so that people begin to understand the seriousness of where we are. Oh, where is it? Where's my article? I can find it. Actually, when I find it, I'll read it. But it is serious. Actually, it is very serious. We are in is it Catch 22?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Situation.
And they don't see it. The apostle do not see it. The other thing that the government have to do, actually, we've been talking about punishing, or basically relieving Colonel Forata of his duty as a finance minister. That is key. That is fundamental. Because at the end of the day, actually, if you have a driver who goes in, or you are a driver, I give you a car, you buy before you come, you scratch the car, you best 2 tires, and it's consistent. It comes consistent. And then I go to buy my new car, and I say I want someone to test drive the car. Do you think it's the same driver?
I'm very experienced.
Because you've driven my Ford, you spoiled it.
Yeah, I'm very experienced.
You've driven my Jaguar, you spoiled it. You've driven my what they call Land Cruiser, you spoiled it. Now that I've got my Ferrari, I should give you for a test drive. Does it make sense?
You will never get it right. Wow. But a quick one before Yomi comes on. Now, do you think government has got the will to actually restructure?
Actually, the problem MPP government are having is that they are putting political interest. Everything they are doing is about winning election. Nothing more than, look, they are preoccupied. How do we maintain power? How do we retain power? And once someone is so desperate about that, you begin to ask questions. Is it because a lot of criminality has been committed and therefore no one to leave the scene for it to be? Akufo-Addo is on record to have said that, look, from what he's saying, they will prosecute a lot of them if they leave power.
When did he say that?
I mean, there's an audio circulation.
I see.
Which was a secret meeting they were having.
I see.
So actually, the fact is, government willing, they are not ready, they are not interested. Rather, they want to do more of propaganda. How do we conceal information? How do we manage? You see, Parliament, something took place in Parliament, the State of the Nation's address. Actually, if you know the negotiations that went on before that State of Nations address, and that State of the Nations address was engineered to achieve one thing, one and only one thing. You will recall that prior to that State of Nation address, a few weeks, it's about 2 weeks to that, we had the independence celebration. Before the independence celebration, we have Mahama, who had gone there and was supposed to have even stayed. People were saying, "Oh, stay and celebrate." They say, "No, I will not stay because MPP has over politicized the independence celebration." Right? What that State of the Nation address was structured to do was to achieve a goal that the nation is behind Akufo-Addo. Because Mahama was billed not to even go to parliament. It was last minute phone calls, begging, pleading with all. So that's why you see all the chiefs.
Okay.
That's why you see the diplomatic corps.
Yeah.
You see all the ex-president, all the ministers, all the what they call it, MPs. Actually, a lot of lobbying went in, and that was to give president the go-ahead because they were pushing for IMF deal by end of March, and that's why they did it quickly, 2 weeks to the end of March, so that we can get that deal, and it didn't work.
We are still hanging on.
It didn't work.
My goodness.
It didn't work. You get me? It didn't work because at the end of the day, they did that. They thought the passing the tax bill so that the government, you cannot go to IMF both yesterday. Oh, even my State of Nation address, we had this, and that is why you see what they call it. The speaker didn't want a lot of debate on that day, on that speech. That let's leave it, let the cameras leave, and then we can banter our things behind the scene. But actually, the people are not stupid. They are not stupid. They are there to do a professional job. No emotions attached. They have no MPP or NDC in front of them.
As far as they are concerned, they are investing money. They want to make sure that they make the profit out of it. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And now I can take you to our North London studios where we got the White Lion on air this morning. Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Archie, and also Frank, and likewise the rest of the the engineers that are working behind the scene. And welcome to the last day of the week. It is the Friday. Baraka, the Juma, Ramadan to all our Muslim brothers and sisters, and those that are not fasting. We hope at least you can have compassion to stop eating while you're walking on that road, because somebody might just be looking at you and thinking, I still have a few more hours before breaking the fast.
Oh my goodness. So people are leading people into temptation. You see the person eating and you think, oh, it's making me hungry now. Oh my goodness. So be advised. But just a quick one. When is the fasting ending?
Well, it depends on how much you have done and whether some are even fasting at all. We still have a few more days left. We are now towards what they can call the most significant time for those that are doing, those that are Muslims in the, which is the last 10 days. So it is now count down. So within the next 8 more days or thereabout, we'll probably be saying goodbye to the 30 days of the Ramadan. And that will literally mean that, some of those that have left those bad things that they've done during the Ramadan will then pick it up again, just as they left it again. Most of them are the politicians, and most of them have traveled now to Saudi Arabia, where part of the Islamic right, they are throwing the stone on what I can call the devil. But it seems that the main devil are there in Africa, that we cannot encourage stoning them, but you need to know what to do with them.
Well, I think we have to find a stone to stone the devils in Africa as well, But let me say good morning to Olayomi Tassino. Hey, our special envoy to Moscow. How are you doing? It says White Lion in the building. Yes, he's here, and Mr. Frank Davis as well. And we're going to bring you everything that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. It's a Yoruba nation now, no going back. All right then. Well, for a couple of days we've not had you. Although we have the news that you give for us to share with our listeners, but we've not had you live on air. So we know that you've got a lot up your sleeve to bring us this morning. And first of all, there was this story that we were talking about, myself and Frank, earlier on before you came on. And they were talking about the fact that let me try to get that quickly. My apologies, listeners. It's virtually chastising the president Buhari that he didn't let anything from Jonathan's time, because the Chibok girls. So because I saw that you've also brought that story there. Chibok girl, Buhari didn't learn from Jonathan. Yes, it's there. He failed to protect school children, says Amnesty International. Let's start from there.
Well, the story of the Chibok girls will be one of that we will remember, Buhari for, just as we remember Jonathan as he was living as well. The president, like I said, is also currently in Saudi Arabia for the last 10 days of the Ramadan, which it does yearly, and that will be his final, journey, as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, according to his media aid. Well, we were also aware that when Buhari came in, according to his media aid, for the first 8 months, there was a setback because the president, was not very well, and that probably maybe could be some of the reason why the Amnesty International is looking back to ask questions surrounding the Chibok girls. The Chibok girls did not happen when Buhari was there, but it seems that, as usual, when the president is gone like a Jonathan, he can then easily shift the blame to the new president that he has not done as much, or probably some of the, and I was listening carefully to some of what Frank was saying, when it comes to different NGOs, bodies, and most of them in Africa, some of them operating from outside Africa, but it seems that we've allowed them, to take what we should be the one in charge of. Buhari didn't learn from Jonathan, failed to protect school children, says Amnesty. Like you said, I've been away for the last 48 hours. Last week, Saturday, in Zamfara State, 80 children were kidnapped, and as I speak to you today, nowhere to be found. Nobody's doing a search and rescue. We're talking about children from between the age of 12 to 17 years old and nowhere to be found. So that literally means that almost the same numbers of children that went out of Chibok are the same that we're talking about. 9 years after the Boko Haram, 276 students from the girls' school in Chibok, 98 of them are still missing. Add another 85. Did I say 85? I think when I saw the list, he actually had 87. And he's continuing to go on, even though the president have changed, his security architect. Remember that it took him a while before he was able to bring in the new faces of the, the chief of army staff. The old chief of army staff is just somewhere in Benin Republic. I'm talking about Buratai. Probably less to do now, but still selling his snake poisoners that he said made him to have enough money to fund the lifestyle of his two wives in Dubai, buying property worth millions of dollars. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Wow, listeners, quite an interesting story. But Frank, let me just pick your mind quickly on this one. Now, we look at legacy. So when you have any leader comes, they try to put some things in place so that tomorrow, if they are not there, everybody can say they did that, they built that, they did that. And if you look at Buhari, he campaigned on the Chibok girls issue. Said that he's going to come, he's going to deal with them. And we were all thinking, well, he's an ex-military leader, so I think he's got everything up his sleeve to do it. We didn't see that, and he's now going to leave office. And we have Amnesty saying, chastising him that you didn't learn from what Jonathan did. What do you think his legacy is when it comes to that?
When you look at athletics, anytime there's going to be competition, you are sent there for a purpose, and we all back you for a purpose. You go, you come, you're supposed to bring a medal. If you don't come, if you don't bring anything, you participated, and that's how we call you. Sometimes we say, okay, you set new national records. Sometimes you prove on your record. If not, you were just a participant. The question is, when Buhari was being voted in, what were we expecting him to do? That is the goal that we gave him. Amongst other things that we needed help for is someone who will be able to name the issue of Boko Haram and that terrorist group in a back. Now, look at it on the score. What has it achieved? Yes, a bit of domestic reform, diversification of the economy a little bit, but when all is said and done, the objective we gave you was to run 100 meters. You do not tell us that you failed to win a medal at 100 meters and tell us that, oh, you offered to do 60 meters and that one you came third. It didn't want. We voted for you on a promise that you were coming to
the 100 meters.
So on that score, complete fail. Because it has, the incidents have even increased. The number of attacks we've witnessed under his reign, the way he's actually acted, any comment that he's made, the inactiveness of him. But actually, you don't blame him. Even if 18% of the time he spent outside the country treating himself, was used to concentrate on solving that problem, he would have gotten a headway.
Yeah. Wow, a sad one. But Yomi, what are Nigerians saying about this? I mean, the Chibok girls, I mean, the families will be, I mean, what, 9 years or 10 years on? I mean, what exactly has happened? What are the families saying there?
I think the main, one that a lot of us talk about is Lee Schreiber. Lee Schreiber was the focus, and it seems that when people talk about the the Chibok girls, we focus on the Lee Schreiber. The reason why she was different was because she was actually told that she had the opportunity, to be returned back to her family, by these terrorists, they are deadly terrorist organization, and they've been in Nigeria, for a very long time. We're talking about the Boko Haram. By just saying she believed in Islam, and she actually said no. She has given back now, according to information that we know, to one of the Boko Haram terrorists, but she has not yet been returned, including about another 97 children. Nigerians, like Frank was saying there, thought that Buhari was going to be like a game changer. Being a former military dictator, he will understand, those and what to do. But it seems that, the level of corruption within the military has not been able, not that the Nigerian military is not as very strong. I mean, we have a lot of intelligence coming on the ground, but when you have a military patrol vehicle that doesn't have petrol inside, with a country that is about 6th largest crude oil producer, then you know that from top to bottom, like Buhari always say, it is a complete failure. And like Buhari said when he was coming in, I was asking the question, he says, I'm not for anybody, I'm for everybody. He has done his best according to him. He's now going to be handing over to the next person to deal with some of the problems that he's actually leaving behind.
Archie, I'm beginning to believe that we need a bit of standards when it comes to politics. Our constitutions, in my view, are too loose and weak. You see, in China, to become even a district officer, a district descent, you should have gone through a bit of training. You should have graduated from the system. You should have graduated. I'm not just talking about degree holding. You should understand what
how to serve the community,
how the community serve, and then what the overall objective of China as a society, where we want to get to in the next 10 years. Your rules, your responsibilities. This president that we have has gone from the grassroots, serving at different levels, learning through it over years up to the presidency. For us in Africa, we just take a few guys who can make noise and then come and say, I do believe that, look, we need certification. Look, think about it. A doctor needs to prove that they can serve.
Yeah. If not, you're not going nowhere.
Even a driver needs to prove that they can. Right? The only thing that you don't need any qualification for to do is be a politician.
If you are popular, you can be.
I mean, actually, no, think about it.
It's true.
You don't even nails, common nails. When you are polishing your nails, you need to prove that you can do it.
Yeah.
Carpentry, you need to prove. Even people who do coffins, need to prove. But the greatest assets that determines the whole generation, the life of a generation, and nation, we don't need any qualification for it. I think it's about time we begin to look at whether we should satisfy. You have to prove that you qualify to be a politician before we would vote for you. You need to sit an exam. These are community. These are questions. How will you be able to provide us water? Assuming you don't have funds from the government. Assuming IMF have introduced this policy, this program, how will you navigate it to be able to ensure? I think we need to come to a point where politicians must take exams. I seriously believe that.
Tinubu will tell you that he was a former Lagos State governor and he did very well, and that is why he has
he should demonstrate
They're
that.
also very happy because Tinubu name seems to have popped up on the Forbes or the Times. I'm going to get that right now, and he's actually really flexing on that. And some even went ahead and said, well, even Pablo Escobar name came up on that time as well, and that doesn't make any difference. But I'm going to get that particular headline because it's actually posted on his own timeline. He's not back in Nigeria. Nobody still knows his location. He's not in Saudi Arabia, But we know that the last thing we were told was from Paris, where he's resting, he will be heading to to Saudi Arabia. But it seems that Nigerians have come out to say that Tinubu name on these new timeline that has been put out now is something that they're jubilating. But I'm going to bring that story a little bit further, just to buttress what Frank was saying there.
Wow. Listen to Star Radio UK. It's interesting what happens in Africa. Well. So how do we get them to certify that they can actually do it? It's one thing saying and it's one thing performing.
We need to get together. I mean, and it has, first we need a plan, a national plan. And I will even argue that after the national plan, every district, every region, every state must have a plan. What do we need for the next 10 years? We need to, there should be a community-led discussion. Once we agree on this is where we want to arrive. Now we need to test them who will best take us there.
And how.
Who will best take us there. Don't tell us, oh, I'll provide it. How are you going to provide it? And we play different scenarios. Don't tell me that, look, I promised this and COVID came and I couldn't deliver. If we are tested, how do you handle crisis in terms of external shocks? Because some of the crisis African countries are failing. It's because the donor country that used to say, look, we used to have a budget where we tell our education 40% or 50% of the budgetary support or money come from outside. Come from our, they call it our donor partners. So every projection that they're doing, they calculate our donor partners will give us this. If we sweet talk them, they will give us this. COVID came in and the donor partners said, you know what? I'll use the money I'm giving you to solve what you call it, to put into the development of vaccine, and you can have that vaccine because you do not have research institution and medical facilities now to be able to develop those vaccines. Again, my foreign aid is for everyone. At the end of the day, it's not tied to Africa. Ukraine crisis has come, Syria crisis has come, Afghan crisis has come. They also want foreign people.
So we need to give them
and therefore, UK, for instance, the external budget that is supposed to use to support Ghana and this and that. That is what they are using to pay hotel bills for a day for about $6 million £6 million a day. That is what those are the monies. Those are the monies. It is that budgetary support that they are using over here. So when they are telling you, oh, we are in crisis, it's because the person who was giving say, no, this time I also have an equally important
thing to do with that money. My goodness. Aziz Bersarik said, good morning, Mr. Archie, and good morning to all the radio team. I love your show. Thank you very much, Aziz. I hope you are doing very, very well. How is the US? Okay, Miss Gold. Hey, it's good to see you all today. Good to see you too. Good morning to you. And Antonia Dideji, yes, thumbs up and love you too. Yeah, love you too. All right then. Now let's come to one story that is making the rounds pertaining to fuel subsidy and oil theft, amounting to 29 trillion naira. Now we have Buhari, when he was coming to power, promising that, look, we're going to crack down all the what do you call it, corruption that has taken place up to now. I don't know if I can attest of maybe 2 people who have actually been found guilty. I'm not sure, but maybe Yomi will be able to tell us that. But up to now, he's been there for how many years? Call it 8 years, all right? Going out, and we are talking about 29 trillion naira. Would that money not have been boost the Nigerian economy? And who are is it the ordinary man who is walking by the roadside, or the one who is selling chichinga, or Suya, who is the one perpetrating this oil theft? Is it not the big hooks, the politicians who are also doing it? Yomi?
Well, when you look at the amount of money that we've lost in the revenue that should have support, millions of Nigerians. I know we didn't have the opportunity to review the Starr Radio UK Wednesday program on Thursday yesterday, but just under a quick brief and summary, we actually discussed the unemployment rate in Nigeria, and that's about 40.6%. And that is quite alarming, because I went back to look at, whether it is the fault of this new government or the previous government that did not put, measures in place. And I was able to look back to say that even during the Jonathan, the record was not as good as well. And those records are coming right behind you. You can look at the statistics that, as 2014, the Nigerians about 14 million. Why are we talking about this? Because when you look at the amount of money, that has been taken, or should I say stolen from the crude oil, then this should have made as many Nigerians we need about 5 million Nigerians into job market every year. But that is not happening. And, breaking it down also to every region, you're looking at about 4.2 million Yoruba people are out of job. The federal government yesterday told us that the amount they are spending on the subsidizing of the petroleum motor spirit, popularly called petrol, between 2005 up to 2021 has got 13 trillion naira, adding that the country also lost 16.3 trillion to oil theft between the same range of 2009 up to 2020. This was disclosed through the Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative at the policy. The question then again is, who are those behind the oil theft? Like you said, it is not just the man, yesterday, I think day before yesterday, I was actually asking, this is an 100 naira. How much can I get out of this with a pure water? You can't get a bottled water with this.
Really?
What I'm told is about, I could get maybe 3, I might be able to get 2 pure water, which is about 20 naira each. And I cannot be able to get gala, neither can I get popcorn. That is the level of the situation. But the worry of the IMF and the World Bank is, should the subsidy removed, as of today, the petrol per liter is going to about 550 naira in the black market, and probably about 400 naira if you're able to get it on the normal tank, machine. And if the government removes such subsidy, then it's going to cost more Nigerians about almost 750 naira. The finance minister told us again that almost $800 million have now been given to the federal government to probably disburse between 50 million Nigerians to prepare their mind that come June, the new government might have to remove the fuel subsidy. Also, the NLC, different NGOs, different organizations have said removing the fuel subsidy might ignite the country. We've been hearing ignite the country, but the country still remain one. But how long it will remain one is a question that a lot of people are asking this morning.
Ignite the country. Listen, means tested. Now, those who are using these big gasless, who have got plants in their house, using lots of fuel, are the rich. The poor, they sleep in the darkness. I don't get our leaders. Honestly, I don't get them at all.
There are two things that are happening here, and let's be clear on it. We always talk about subsidies. Yes, I understand subsidies. If you take what goes into the determination of pricing, what goes into the price build-up, what goes into what comes into the demand that they made of us at the pumps, you realize that Archie, the taxes that have been front loaded on it, are so high in this country. For instance, about 60% of what we pay is from taxes. What we pay to our pump. So at the end of the day, if government says, okay, I'm taking 10% off, is that a subsidy?
No.
Basically, so what they've done is that they've just lowered the tax impact on it. So all this talk about subsidy, I understand where they're coming from, but it's about time we query it again. Those allocations that goes into, for instance, I'll give you a classic example of something. If you take, let me use, I don't have any receipt from Nigeria. If I do have a receipt of buying something from Nigeria, I would have used it, but permit me, listeners, and let's just use what is happening over here as part of it. I just want to go straight to something from Ghana, and you look at build up of whatever you pay. Now, if at the end of the day we are told that certain subsidies have been given on certain items, no favor has been done us. No one should think that we've been Donna, I'm trying to get a receipt, Archie. Let's allow me comment while I get that thing for you. I'll just give you some build up.
Okay, once Frank looks for the receipt,
I want to use that some specific build up.
Okay, okay. Let me acknowledge Comfort Olugunja, as he said, Buhari was unable to fight the Boko Haram issues, but has brought in more problem of terrorists in the country. Sadly, Buhari's government highly worsened the Jonathan's government. They are worse off than the Jonathan's. Yeah.
Okay, Archie, so I've got something here. So if you take a typical Nigerian who is paying, and I'm using the Ghana as an example over here, what you see, for instance, I have a receipt of mobile phones that we use. Every call that we make, the credit that we buy, these are what we pay on it. We pay what we call communication service tax 5%. We pay get fund levy 2.5%. We pay NHIL 2.5%. COVID fund, COVID is gone. COVID levy 1%. Then you have that total. When you bring it, then you slash a VAT. So they are charging VAT on the tax again. No, open your mouth. Actually, they are charging VAT on the tax again. So, for instance, I mean, I'll give you a classic example. I bought credit. My consumption was 18.5 Ghana cedis. All right, 18.2 Ghana cedis. Now I look at the communication tax and other things. When you add all of them up, it comes to what, about 20.3. They now charge VAT on that. So tax being VATed over here. So from 18 cedis, I end up paying 23 cedis. Assuming government comes in and say, okay, I'm giving, what do you call it, a subsidy of 5%. It's just one tax that they've taken out. So in effect, it's not even a subsidy. So this issue about 13 trillion has been given in form of subsidies. That should be questionable. We need to find out what goes in there, the computation of the fuel prices that Nigerians are paying for. Because I bet you all kind of nonsense taxes. We are not looking at how much money is being wasted by official board who attend board meetings. Look, what did this person do? Is it Tanzania president? Over within a week, fire the whole board, sack people because of wastage. So me, I don't buy into this subsidies issue that much.
Well, Frank doesn't buy into that. What do you think about that? Lots more going to be coming your way from here. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, I was actually talking about the Bola Tinubu name included in the 100 most influential people in 2023, and it goes like this: winning an election in Africa, most populous country, is not easy feat, but Nigeria's newly elected president Bola Tinubu has had nearly 2 decades to prepare, called Jagaban, or the leaders of the warriors. But that has backfired on Twitter, because it seems that Twitter has this fight that comes up all the time, when it comes to the only option that Nigerians have. Remember that I believe it was on Tuesday, we were still talking about his issue that we narrated regarding the fund that went through his account in America. But it seems that a lot of comparisons have also come up to say, well, at some point Mugabe was also one of those in that Time magazine, Time magazine in most influential people as well. Even North Korean leader was mentioned as well. Bin Laden was also mentioned, and the Nazi Hitler was also mentioned. So I'm not sure why all this has come up, but it seems that as Nigerians are reacting to that, then there's nothing worth celebrating about Bola Tinubu being featured on the Time magazine. In fact, it is more of a cause than a blessing to publish his face on such international magazine at this time as a person of interest. And we do know how politician works. Maybe somebody influence his name being put out there. We don't know how this works out, but a lot of reaction on there. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is currently not doing very well, according to information coming from his media, is not his media, his legal representative, and that seems to be a little bit of concern, because what we do know is that Nnamdi Kanu has been kept in the custody of the DSS, since 2021 now, and it seems that the situation doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But his health is fast, going into a very, very big and alarming concern, and it seems that the federal government is still insisting not allowing him to get a proper medical treatment. So according to Aloy Ejimafo this morning, that went on to say the UK Foreign Affairs Committee has again published a damning report against the UK government handling of the matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The report draws on evidence provided by Kanu family through their lawyers here in the United Kingdom, Biden LLP, and it seems now that the new British High Commissioner, Dr. Richard Montegori, would have a lot to deal with as he's taking over from the previous British High Commissioner, Katrina Lang. Will he be looking into the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just as so many other issues as well? I'm going to come back to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yeah, listeners, just a quick one on the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, what has the president-elect, or has he made any statement pertaining to that? Because we were all thinking that, thinking, okay, just a matter of time. Maybe when he comes in, he will have a real look at what is happening to even the Yoruba nation and to the agitation and everything. But some will say he's part of the establishment, the whole establishment, and therefore we don't expect anything new from him. But what do you think? Has he made any statement so far?
Well, he hasn't said much. Even during the campaign, we didn't get much out of how the new president-elect, Bola Tinubu, will react or deal, with the current situation of those that are agitating, for the complete, disintegration of the country, and likewise those that are also asking, for what we can call, maybe a true federalism that will reflect, where we are. But in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, we would have to know after May 29 how, the incoming president would have to deal with such, especially with the relationship between himself and the United Kingdom. We also know that, during the Good Friday, we know we have a very long break and have been off for like 48 hours. Peter Obi was stopped right here in London as well. It seems somebody in UK is putting himself out to be Peter Obi, and that literally made him to be stopped. The British government has apologized to that, but we don't know how that actually flagged up. On his way to London, he was stopped, questioned, for some time, by the immigration officer in UK. So the new British High Commissioner have a lot, when it comes to the relationship between the UK and Nigeria, as it's now taking over from Katrina Lang.
Now let's talk about the one who that stoppage of Peter Obi, alleged Peter Obi. Was it Peter Obi himself who was in the UK, or somebody who was impersonating him who was stopped? Can you clarify?
According to information that came out from his own media aid, and this is what we know. Like I said, all these, we're going very fast. When the news came out, people, thought it was probably, one of those other news that we hear all the time is not true, is false. But eventually, the team of Peter Obi confirmed that he was stopped here in the UK. I'm going to bring that up in just about a few minutes. But once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So what do we know? According to Peter Obi, Dati Presidential Campaign Office has explained, while the presidential candidate of the Labour Party was allegedly harassed by immigration officer at the Heathrow Airport here in United Kingdom. According to the spokesperson for the campaign, Council Diran Onifade, in a statement issued on Wednesday, said Obi was detained, questioned for a duplication offense, which suggests that someone has been impersonating Obi here in London.
So someone had been impersonating him, and therefore, that's why he was stopped. Oh wow. I mean, they have to do their work.
And it was good that it was stopped. It was good that, because if not the airport, it could be somewhere bigger. And it's good sometimes when things like that happen, it's a blessing in disguise. If someone is impersonating someone, defrauding, using his name, tomorrow you never know what to can be blamed. So for me, I mean, the Labour Party is cleared and it was good. Yeah.
Okay. Listen to Star Radio UK updates from Nigeria with Miss Olayomi with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. But let's go to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. We know that the Central Bank of Nigeria has proposed that banks should transfer funds. Yomi, so if you don't go for Nigeria, one of the accounts that you are not using for 10 years, they're going to take your money. Is it that when you go back, you can get your money back, or what?
Well, I mean, if you're outside the country, as a lot of us have this app, whether from any of your banks that you operate with, so you won't have that, worried at all. But if you're one that have had an account in Nigeria, and you've not been to Nigeria for some time, maybe because of immigration, as a lot of us are facing here, or for one reason or the other, you've not been able to link your name into your bank, because there's a lot of things that you need to do now, to be able to have, the proper online account. But it seems now that, dormant account unclaimed fund, the Central Bank of Nigeria is now ready to mop up, so many Nigerians, whether at home or outside. So if you're one of those that you think maybe you have a little bit or small, maybe it's time for you to quickly work on that. If not, the central bank might mop up the money. The Central Bank of Nigeria has proposed that banks should transfer funds in accounts that have been dormant for up to 10 years into a trust fund account. This is contained in a recently released exposure draft of the guideline on the guidelines on the management of the dormant account, unclaimed balances, and other financial assets in the banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria. This circular accompanying the exposure draft. So it's about 10 years if you have not really touched the account. And to be honest with you, if you're living in UK and you're still probably struggling with immigration, or you're outside the country, even if it's that last 100 naira, that might be mop up as well by the federal government and the CBN. Let's touch on some of the other headlines. At 11:51 is the end of the week. I'm not sure whether you've already told our listeners, but we need to let them know that not this Sunday, the coming Sunday, there will be an alarm of what we call, the emergency alert that is going to be coming up on our phone, according to the British, government here in UK. So maybe next week, if those alarm comes up, there's nothing to be worried about. It's just what we call a test, according to the British, government here in the United Kingdom. So if you're living here, next week Sunday, not this Sunday, on the 23rd of April, they will be testing what they call the emergency alert system. Now let's touch on one or two more headlines, go straight to the social media, as we say, may Nigeria not happen to us. Information is just coming up that motorists and commuters are now stranded in the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway gridlock. It's been like that for over 2 decades, and as much as the road is still under repair, but it's making a lot of problems as well for motorists and commuters as well. Ibadan Expressway gridlock, and this could lead to up to tomorrow morning, because when it happens like that, it's very, very difficult to clear the, because everybody just gets stuck and there's nowhere to turn to, there's nowhere to move to, and you might end up for good sales for those that are selling waters and all sorts. So that is coming on the headline this morning. Let's go back to one or two more at 11:52. Quite a lot of different arrest happens in U.S., but the U.S. Secret Service have arrested a 28-year-old Nigerian indicted in a $6 million internet scam. Scamming is still one thing that is labeled to Nigerians. Not all Nigerians, but the bad eggs have actually given us, the other name outside the country, and it's quite a lot. We've talked about a particular one called Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy, was a very, big spender. But later on, we find out that he was actually spending money that doesn't belong to him. Travel between Dubai to France to different countries, with a lot of money. He was based in Dubai until he was arrested, by the U.S. and the Dubai authority. But according to the information, the first of the 3 defendants, Kosi Gonsin Simon Abel, age 29, has been extradited from Canada to the United States to face a federal indictment, and is scheduled to have his initial appearance today at about 3 p.m. in the U.S. District Court in Greenbelt, U.S. Magistrate Court as well. So a crime will not pay you. It's just a matter of time. They say one day, for the thief, or I don't know how that goes by, but I'm sure.
Every day for the thief, one day for the master.
One for the owner. So you'll get caught up, even if you think that you can, use the time. Also, there was a story, that popped up, even though it's not from Nigeria. I don't know whether, you got that story that, in Turkey, a young Gabon female, 18 years old, was, killed. And the background to the story was that, it's got to do with racism. Racism happens around the world. So we pray, to the family. She actually sent a voice note to the mother saying that she will be killed. Eventually, she was killed the next day. She was telling the mother to move away from that town or the city where she was schooling. But it seems that the parent probably thought, as a female, she just wanted to have a good time. But that is some kind of an advice, especially to mothers, to kind of listen, in this world that we are living, listen to those parents, listen to the children, especially here in the UK, in Ghana, it could be anywhere, but 5 grown-up adults have been arrested, and you wonder, one of them I saw was even struggling to walk, and the question is, what could have led to this innocent girl being killed, in what we can call, a racism attack? Zamfara police have managed to rescue now, it's coming up from the headline, out of the 85 people, or should I say Zamfara rescue 9, 85 still held. Remember that we talked about the children that were arrested, but the information coming on the screen right now says the Zamfara State Police Command said it has rescued 9 victims by the terrorists in Kuchiri village of Tasafa local government area of the state. In the statement by the Public Relations Officer, Commander CSP Mohammed Shehu, said the victims were rescued on Wednesday by the police, a very good one, but there's still about 85 still held in the captivity of the terrorist organization. Let's look at one of the first tweets this morning. Dele Ogun says, when even in the area shaded blue, the languages are as mutually untangibly as the tongues of the Eurasian mainland, why would the country not be paradise for the crooks? And is actually responding to African Jesus that went on to say, when discussing self-determination in Nigeria, the term separatist is incorrect. These are indigenous people legitimately seeking independence from a country imposed by Britain. You can't separate from what you didn't create. No Africa was consulted in the creation of Nigeria. And I was actually listening to one of the the audio I had a recording with Professor Banja Kitoye when I was in Nigeria a year and a half ago. And he actually told me that the Ijebu had a town and cities as far back as 1533, which is about approximately 490 years ago. And those towns and cities have become more than a slum. And this morning, before I came on air, I was reviewing how much it costs to have I don't know whether you have that in Ghana, but we have what they call face me, I face you. They're like a small room. You face each other. You share the same toilet, the same bathroom. Probably, if your other room is making some soup, you can just move it to your bedroom as long as the scent doesn't come out. And the cost of that have actually grown up. The cost of living in face me, I face you have gone up. And I was actually explaining that if the system was working, we shouldn't have face me, I face you anymore. We should have a studio and up to 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, depending on the family. But the cost of living in Nigeria today has gone up, even in some of our rural areas. So quite a lot is trending this morning. Tiwa Savage, one of the Nigerian singer, information came that she was almost kidnapped in Lagos State somewhere yesterday with the planning of one of our cook or our maid. Again, insecurity could not just be in the northern part of Nigeria. You must look after your security, especially if you're someone well-to-do in Nigeria. So that didn't go ahead as planned, but we hope that those culprits will be dealt with very, very well. Ikeja is trending. Randall Avenue area somewhere in Surulere got burnt yesterday in one of the houses there, and quite a lot. Nigerian as a name is trending. Maybe we should take that for the next 1 minute and see why Nigerian is trending. there's a lot still being discussed when it comes to after the election. So let's take a look at Dr. Ayo Shogunre. Nigerian police and DSS are always eager to warn us on fake news against politicians in the ruling party. But why do this warning do not extend to fake news like against people not in APC? Is it in the case of one set of laws for APC and the another set of laws for the rest of us? And they have actually, is actually pointing to Adamu Gaba. He's one of the representatives of the APC. And what they've done is, we talked about Peter Obi being, stopped here in UK, for some few, I don't know how long it was stopped, but they've actually crafted a photo shoot of Peter Obi with Abike Dabiri and an immigration officer in one picture, and he went on to say, here is the government APC help to recover Peter Obi from his detention cell in UK over allegations of traveling to UK with a fake document, all thanks to Abike Dabiri. His campaign fake, manifesto fake, his motive fake, even his travel documents are fake. Why?
How can someone who has lived here over 10 years still have it?
And it's not that this is the first time he's coming here.
Get that picture. See if we can get that image up. It's quite a little bit, interesting time in Nigeria, especially, what the politician can turn into. And if you're not careful, you don't even know which one is the real picture. But the picture Peter Obi there was his visit to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and the picture that Abike Dabiri have there is another picture with another minister, and they've now added another immigration officer. For the real culprit have been removed, and they've now added, consider in that image, that is Peter Obi. They're sitting begging and saying, thank you so much, Abike Dabiri from the APC. I will listen to you next time. And the immigration officer looking at them right there, both of them. Well, so that's not a real picture anyway.
Yeah, we know that that's not a real picture, but Africa, yeah. We are good at things like that. But well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK update from Nigeria. But let me acknowledge before Yomi goes. Sunday Adebanjo, good afternoon to you. And Akinlade Emmanuel, good afternoon to you also. And to every one of you who is listening to us as well, we say good afternoon to you. We hope you are all doing very, very well. Yomi, before you go.
Well, it is the weekend, and we can only say, may Nigeria not happen to us. Let's be very, very security conscious. Also, as some say, we continue to pray for Nigeria, but some Yorubas say we've prayed enough. It is time now for the total disintegration. How that is going to happen is still the conversation. But later on Monday, we'll be back again fully for all the event that would happen over the weekend. But don't go away, because Archie Frank will take you through the rest of the program on Starr Radio UK. And if you don't know where to find us, we're on Twitter on Starr Radio UK, on all the social media handles. But the best way is, why not check us on the Starr Radio UK website at www.starradiouk.com. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I'll be back again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.
Bye, Yomi. Well, listeners, that has been updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. It's now gone a minute after 12. I'm going to take a musical break, and then we'll continue with the program. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. But, well, Roots Riders, they're saying a small axe, a cover version of Bob Marley's tune. In Starr Radio UK and all our lovely listeners and viewers, a small axe. And whilst we chat and do all these things, we are hewing down that tree of corruption and marginalization and everything that is being put our way. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Enjoy that tune, and I'll be with you.
sharpen to cut you down. These are the words of my master. Keep on telling you, yeah. Oh, weak heart shall prosper. Hey. And whosoever diggeth a pit shall fall in it, yeah. Fall in it, oh Lord. And whosoever diggeth a pit shall bury in it.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
We are the small axe, up and ready to cut you down. World sharp, sharpen to cut you down. And whosoever diggeth a pit, Lord, shall fall in it, fall in it, oh Lord. And whosoever diggeth a pit shall bury in it, shall bury in it. So if you want a victory, let me tell you that we are the small axe, ready to cut you down. Well, sharp, sharpen to cut you down. One time again. If you want a victory, yeah, we are the small axe, sharp and ready to cut you down. Well, sharp, sharpen to cut you down.
All around the world.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
one of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Right, welcome back to Starr Radio. Archie has to step out, and therefore I'm staying in here for taking you to the next 15 minutes or so, where we'll be joined by the money man to take you to the finish line. Today we're going to be discussing a few bits about budgetary issues, something that will help you. The money man will be joining us exactly 12:30. Money man joins us at 12:30. But let's go straight to some headlines coming again from Africa. We'll go through the rest of the headlines coming from Africa. Let me start with trending news. A Facebook rapist caught about poisoning fears. A convicted rapist and murderer who escaped jail last year has appeared in court for the first time since his rearrest this month. Thabo Bester, the so-called Facebook rapist who used the social media site to lure victims, has alleged at Friday's hearing that the ID number is incorrectly listed on documents and that it is not safe for him to eat prison food in case somebody poisons him. Instead, he wants his lawyers to provide his meals, and he has refused to eat for the past 48 hours. His lawyer said Bester would not apply for bail, but argued he maintains the right to do so at later stages. So that Bester, an issue which has been trending for some time, Child rapists get longer jail terms after public outrage, and we'll look at that as well. Is the speaker